As photographers, we are excited about starting our business and being able to get paid for doing what we absolutely love. That is, till the harsh business reality hits us. What? Contracts? But I don't even speak legalese, and lawyers is equal to lots of dollars. As freelancers, there are three hats worn by photographers: the artist hat, the technician hat, and the business person hat. There are very few of us that love wearing the business person hat, even though it is the hat responsible for our financial success. A huge part of business of photography is making sure we are protected in every way. That's when a blessing like contracts market steps in. After working as a business lawyer for almost a decade, Jaime Bell realized the gap in the market and created the contract market. Legal contract templates that don't cost an arm and a leg and are created for the independent business owner just like us creatives. So Jaime, I'm so excited that you're going to be speaking on the legal side of photography business at our conference this April at CICE 2025. I would love to have you introduce yourself. Who is Jaime Bell?
Thank you so much. So, my name's Jamie. I'm a business lawyer first and also an entrepreneur. I started the contracts market exactly for the reason you're talking about, Manpreet, because a lot of people are excited to start their businesses, but get intimidated or overwhelmed by thinking about the legal side of their businesses. And so I created contracts market as a way that would make legal not only accessible, but in language and terms that people actually use in day-to-day business so that your contracts actually reflect your business. Um, and they're just easy to use and takes that guesswork out of the kinds of legal protections you need for your business.
So is that how contracts market came to be?
Yeah, when I started working as a lawyer specifically for small business owners, I realized that there was a big gap in the market, especially for Canadian entrepreneurs. A lot of the times when people are starting their businesses or even as they're further along in their business, they don't need a $3,000 contract drafted by a lawyer. They need something that is reflects their actual business and in language that is easy to understand. There was just a huge gap in the market, and what I was seeing that was that business owners were either um, doing like the cut and paste contract versions themselves, or just forgoing contracts altogether. So I knew that there was a better way that bridged that gap.
A lot of us think of contracts after an uncomfortable experience, like not getting paid or scope creep. What is the best time to have contracts set up?
Well, I think the best time to have a contract set up is before you take on your first client or before you even launch your website. But if you're beyond that, then the best time to implement great contracts is now. Particularly if you're starting your business or you're implementing it at the earlier stages of your business, using a lawyer drafted contract that's actually been written by somebody who understands your industry might actually prompt you to think about different processes or policies in your business you might not have even contemplated, like refund policies or how different licensing rights are granted, or even things like scope creep that you've touched upon already.
And sometimes, there's cancellation, which is not anybody's fault, like weather, which is quite common with photographers.
Yeah.
Then how
Or
does,
deposits,
yeah,
what does a deposit or retainer reflect for you?
yeah,
Do they get it back if they cancel the day before?
yeah,
Whereas you've already booked that time off in your calendar. So these are all just things to think about before they become issues in your business.
right. Now, the most common contract we think about is terms and conditions. But there are other documents that are legally binding, like model releases, NDAs, etc. What are the kinds of contracts should photographers be considering?
I love that you said website terms of use and or terms and conditions are the first contract, because I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that is a legally binding contract when you check that box on a website. But I'm a big believer in client agreements. Those are your moneymaker. They're what set great relationship foundations for you and your client. And there's something to reflect back on if you have scope creep or something that just goes awry along the way. So I'm a big believer in never starting work or even booking time off in your calendar until you have a really excellent client service agreement in place. You mentioned a couple other ones, specifically for photographers, model release, how you're using someone's likeness as models in your business or for marketing purposes, commercial purposes, and yeah, print releases if you're doing some kind of providing some kind of deliverable for your client, allowing that relationship of how that or that how they can print and use your images after the fact, whether it's for commercial or personal uses. So there's a few different elements or few different types of contracts I think photographers need to have in their toolkit. And yeah, I've created a few of those for in the contracts market.
Yeah, it's. Um, I am a photographer who's had just one contract, which I've used for years. I
Hmm.
paid good money to a business lawyer who was not even dealing with creatives at that time to
Hmm.
create terms and conditions. I have not got any other contract made because of the expense and not knowing a good lawyer who would understand a photographer's point of view. So I'm super excited to hear your talk at the CICE 2025 in April. Would you want to give a teaser for your talk? I know you can't delve in detail, but perhaps how a photographer would benefit by attending.
Sure. I've been given pretty wide scope of things I get to talk about. So I'm definitely going to be talking about all things contracts and protecting your business by using great contracts in your business. I'm also likely going to touch on the best way to set up your business, whether it's as a sole proprietorship or incorporation, depending on what stage you're at in your business. And I'm also going to touch on how AI is shifting the legal landscape, especially for photographers. And yeah, I can't give too much away about that right yet because things could change drastically between now and April. We're recording this in December, so I don't like to get too ahead of myself, but we'll definitely be talking about the impact of AI and how we can use it legally and also protect our businesses. In a way that we need to in considering all of AI's uses.
Are you going to get lots of questions on AI? I'm sure of that. Okay, lastly, I'd like to wrap up this quick interview with 5 rapid fire questions. What's the best holiday destination you've been to?
Um, I love Joshua Tree. It has a magical, special place in my heart. So I'm going to say Joshua Tree.
And when you begin your day, what's your first beverage that you have?
Coffee with cream, a big one.
A photograph that you have taken that you're very proud of.
I have this photo that I took of an Icelandic horse waiting up against a fence for a visit for me when I was visiting Iceland with my mom. And just the background is spectacular. The way the horse is in the foreground, I love it. And I'm sure there's lots of critiques that a photographer could give on it, but it holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, Iceland is one on my bucket list too.
It's so spectacular.
Yeah. And you are looking forward to blank?
I'm going to the Taylor Swift concert on Saturday.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
really looking forward to that. I'll report back.
Yeah, you probably have to say a thing or two about that.
Yeah.
An impactful book that comes to your mind.
One that's really stood the test of time for me is The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. I think it's a good book, especially for somebody who's grown up in the legal box about remembering to keep creativity at the forefront and also just, allowing yourself to play and create that space for yourself in your life.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for all that information. And We're really looking forward to your talk in April. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me. Look forward to meeting you in real life.